Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Lore Explorer. As some of you know, I've recently come out of a pretty dark time in my life. One which I'm not going to go into details here. If you'd like to know more, check out the videos I made on my personal channel. So, I thought it only fitting to descend into the catacombs of one of my favorite gothic horror video game series. And I originally planned on producing this episode for Halloween, so there's that. Yeah. Well, there's no time like the present. Let me set the scene for you. Imagine you're wandering through a dark, mist-filled forest. The further you venture into this forest, the more you can feel the oppressive presence of evil watching your every move. As it becomes almost unbearable, you decide to turn back, only to realize that you've left the forest and entered a clearing. On the other end of the clearing sits a menacing castle, as if it appeared specifically to end your journey for you. You know that this is the dreaded Castlevania, home of the dark Lord of the Vampires, Dracula. But who is this incarnation of disparity? Find out as we explore the lore behind Dracula, Lord of Castlevania. To start off, we're going to specify that this Dracula is the one from the original Castlevania timeline and not the new Lords of Shadow reboot. And obviously, this is going to contain some major spoilers. So, spoiler alert. So, who is Dracula? Other than a really snappy dresser. Dracula was born as Matthias Kronkvist. He was a master of alchemy and a tactician for a group of knights led by his friend Leon Belmont. If you think that name sounds important, it is. More on that later. Matthias was married to a woman named Elizabeth, who died of an unspecified illness while he was out fighting in the name of God. Or rather, tacticianing. Is that a word? When Matthias came home, he found out his wife was dead and was so grief-stricken he was bedridden. Talk about sympathy pains. Matthias was furious with God because God allowed his wife to die while Matthias was out fighting in God's name. So he decided to show God that he didn't control everything, because that's always a good idea, by becoming immortal. He did this by using an artifact known as the Crimson Stone, which gave him the ability to absorb the souls of fallen vampires and gain their power. An unfortunate side effect of this was that it turned him into a vampire himself. Side effects may cause bloating, diarrhea, and lust for human blood. Still not as many side effects as those stupid antidepressants. Eventually, Matthias met a vampire named Walter Bernard, who had a stone called the Ebony Stone that left his castle and forest eternally in night. This made Walter the most powerful vampire around, and made his soul really enticing to Matthias. Not in a, I love your soul, your very being way, more like a, I need that chicken in my belly! Knowing he couldn't take out Walter on his own, Matthias convinced Walter to kidnap and eventually kill Leon Belmont's fiancée, and then he let Leon do the rest. Ironically enough, Leon forged the vampire killer, the only weapon capable of defeating Matthias once he became Dracula, while he was fighting Walter. And that, my friends, is turning a frown upside down. As Walter died, Matthias absorbed his soul and became the most powerful vampire ever. He asked Leon if he wanted to join him, since Leon was single now and had some free time. Didn't matter if it was legal or not, he still asked. Leon reacted poorly to this, and spent the next 1,000 years having his family kill Dracula over and over and over. This goes on for a while. And over and over. You may want to take your potty break now. And over. Well, you get the idea. Eventually, Matthias, who now calls himself Dracula, found love with a woman named Lisa, but unfortunately, that's all the lore we have time to explore today. As always, if you like this, feel free to hit that like button and share it with all of your blood-sucking friends. If you really liked it and want to see other cool stuff, go ahead and subscribe to the All for Geek Alliance. You won't regret it, trust me. If you want to know more about Dracula, play any Castlevania game ever. But if you want to know more about his origin, consider playing Lament of Innocence on the PS2. Also, be sure to check out the All for Geek Alliance Twitch channel, where you can see our newest show, The Carillion Cantina. Links in the doobly-doo. Well, that's all for me today, and I will see you tomorrow for some streamy streams with TJ. Bye-bye!